This is Ossabaw as a turtle hatchling 3 years ago. Ossabaw hatched on Ossabaw Island in August of 2011. The baby turtle was discovered still in the nest and likely would not have survived if the Georgia Sea Turtle Cooperative network hadn't intervened. Mark Dodd, wildlife biologist and sea turtle program coordinator for the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, gave the hatchling to the UGA Aquarium, where it's thrived under the care of the Marine Extension Service staff, interns, and volunteers. The Marine Extension Service is a unit of the Office of Public Service and Outreach. This is Ossabaw today, 3 years later. It's time to release Ossabaw back into its natural environment on Ossabaw Island, a protected refuge.
And there's a network of people called the Georgia Sea Turtle Cooperative that are coordinated by the Department of Natural Resources, and they monitor sea turtle nesting along the Georgia coast. So after the main hatching event occurred, that group excavated Ossabaw's nest and discovered Ossabaw still alive down at the bottom as a straggler. So it's likely that Ossabaw never would have made it out of the nest and not have survived. By accepting Ossabaw as a hatchling, it became an ambassador for education about loggerheads on the coast of Georgia. So we determined that Ossabaw is ready to be released based on standards that are set by the Department of Natural Resources, and the first indicator is its size. Once it outgrows our tank, we first try to offer it to a larger facility within the state, and if they can accept it, then we take step towards releasing the turtles. So the first main indicator that it's ready to be released is its size. And then we implement a feeding protocol with live food, and that's another good indicator of whether or not it's ready to actually survive or be released out into the wild, is because if it can catch and eat live food successfully, then we know it has a better shot of surviving. It's important for us to be able to accept hatchling sea turtles and put them on display to sort of get the message out about sea turtles on the Georgia coast, or just their plight in general. Loggerhead sea turtles are listed as threatened species, which is only one notch above being endangered. So by having Ossabaw on display, especially since it was a straggler in the nest that might not have ever survived, by having it on display, it really becomes an ambassador for education and helps get people excited or interested in conservation for sea turtles and for coastal resources in general. Ossabaw's release is a collaborative effort with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. We're going to be releasing Ossabaw from Ossabaw Island National Wildlife Refuge, so it's very important to bring in that federal agency that oversees endangered species and national wildlife refuges. It's the Department of Natural Resources is another main player, as well as the Coretta Research Project. We have to time the release of Ossabaw with the seasonality and optimal environmental conditions that will help to ensure its survival.
For Devin Dumont and the rest of the Marine Extension Service's staff, saying goodbye to Ossabaw is a mixed emotional experience. Joy in seeing a loggerhead sea turtle successfully raised and reintroduced into its natural environment, but tinged with some sorrow at saying goodbye, and with a little advice for Ossabaw as he heads out on his own.
Be friends, play well in the sandbox, share toys, all that kind of thing.
Out there?
Oh yeah, he's...
Oh, I'm just sad.
I think he just waved at you.